Good morning. This is a tutorial to teach you how to do the Markbook columns in Gibbon, which is our pupil management system, and also doing resources, how to access the resources. So let me straight away share my screen with you. I'll collapse me in the corner there, and let's go into Safari. There we go. Okay, so let's go into Gibbon. Gibbon is gibbon.jackandjill.fr, and it's our private space. Now then, for resources, you need to go to Learn, Planner, Manage Resources, View Resources. So if you were wanting to add a resource, you can click on Manage. In the first instance, you will be viewing resources, and as tomorrow, we're going to be doing a dance and the music has been inputted. I'm going to click on Heal. There we go. And straight away, we've got a tutorial, I think, and the music. So let's have a look. I've got the tutorial. Brilliant. It should take me straight away to the tutorial. Fantastic. If you wanted to, let's go back again. If you wanted the Jack and Jill anthem, Jack and Jill anthem. Let's have a look. No, that's interesting. Let's have a look at the anthem. Okay, it's a J&J anthem. Okay, go to the J&J anthem. There it is. That should be
English is key to opportunities to travel the world, meet boys and girls from different countries. A Jack and Jill will be in happy harmony with students who share and teachers who care. Will speak with fluency. A Jack and Jill. A Jack and Jill, a Jack and Jill.
There we go. So we've got lots of resources there that are inputted as we go along, which enable us all to get to them very easily. And were you to want to add up, you can add your resource there. If you had a photo or something that you were using that was on the theme of what we're doing. Next year, our theme is going to be the Olympics. So we're going to be adding a lot of sites and links and documents into Gibbon for the Olympics. There we go. So that's the resources. And now the Markbook column. The Markbook column is under Assess, Markbook. So in the case of Chanel's class that she's just taking over, her class, she signed up to 2 classes. There we go. There's everybody else's classes. She can look at the columns of everybody else. But in this case, we're going to look at her classes. She's going to want to look at her classes, I would imagine. And there we go. We have, you can just swipe all the columns that have been created for the class that she's about to be teaching. And as you create a column, you can add a column. You can say what unit you're working from. If it's homework that you're marking from a unit you're working from, you can leave that blank. If it is not a particular lesson, but it's a name, it's a test, or if it's, so this obviously needs something, so I'll say it's a test. It's a unit 6 test, let's say. In fact, they're talking about that. I don't think they have done their unit 6 test. So I'll say there that it's a test. If you were doing a test that wasn't known to the school or using your own test, you could upload the file. So it's in Gibbon that any other teacher who is coming into that class could see any documents that have been used. I'm going to assess attainment. How am I going to assess it? Shall I do just completion or incompletion? Shall I do a percentage out of 100 or a simple letter? I tend to do a percentage and I ask the children to convert it into a percentage. If they tend to be out of what, 30, you can just do very, very, vulgarly if you want to. If it was out of 30, you could just say, right, I'm going to do it by 3, and then that gives it almost out of 100. If you didn't want to get out your calculator. The attainment rubric is never ticked. Do you want to assess effort? You might not do, it's a test, so it's, a result, full stop. If you want to make some comments and be able to write text against this, then you can leave that yes. And if you just want to have a test result, literally a number out of 30 or a percentage, then you can take this off. Is there any uploaded response? No, in this particular case, there's no uploaded response. And the go live date is the day that you create your column. And here you can edit what you just created. You can click on the data, and there you have the list of your students. And because I said I wanted it by percentage, there'll be a percentage that I can do. So at the end of these tests, I typically will ask them to be marked by a neighbor. So they all change their papers. They mark in green. They do a total out of the total amount in the class. And then I ask them to show me their papers. It doesn't have to be read out in the class, or to come to me and to give me their mark, and I will edit it. I will input it immediately. There, I find that this is the most efficient way to move on and not forget items. Get it done straight away, quick. If you know what you're doing, it'll happen quickly, and then submit. All right, and that way, looking at this particular Markbook, there we go. We've got my test that I've just put in there. We've prepared a couple of columns ready for Chanel, who's taking over. So she's not familiar with all this. We can see that, oh, that's something I wanted to write in their lesson plan, that there are 3 children who don't have books or checks. So I'm going to straight away go into home for Chanel. I'm going to go into, it was the tiny, I'm going to go into the lesson plan. I'm going to edit, and I am going to say, who are those children? If I open a new page, I can go into Gibbon, I can go into Markbook, and I can have it open in 2 pages. It was Kais, Gilia, and Balkis. So here we are. Kais, Gilia, and Balkis don't have a check written as being handed in at the beginning, the deposit check at the beginning of the year, and we don't have the inventory code of their class books. Take codes off them and take back books until we get the checks. Write to parents immediately via Gibbon. There we go. That's very, very important. We have a lot of money sitting in books. So it's very important we don't lose those books. So we were on the Markbook. I would definitely want to know why there isn't an inventory number against these 3 students. I can see the validity of how long their online practice is valid for. So in fact, in this case, it's valid for 2 years, which is great. Whether they didn't finish their book this year, they can carry on next year. And then different tests, Unit 2 tests, I see Unit 5 tests, goodness knows why there's a great big gap from Unit 2 to Unit 5. And if they finished Unit 6, then I think that this, I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to call it name Unit 6 test. Unit test, it's a unit test. And it's a test, there we go. I'm going to go live date, and I'll put it as from, there we go. The go live date is important because it will order your columns for you in the right order. So there we go, we've got the test. Now it's interesting because there's a Unit 6 test. This one I created, so I'm going to delete it because it was just to show you for the tutorial. And so that will need to be done. I'm expecting this class to be working on Unit 6. In fact, they might not yet be ready for that test, in which case we can change the go live date. Okay, there'll be homework that will be marked here. In fact, I think I can even do that. Look, wonderful. I can change it around myself. So that's great. Unit 6, 3 and 4, lesson 1 and 2. So as I'm we're just taking over this class. We're not entirely sure exactly what they're up to, but that will be clarified, and you can put in as much detail as you can. So it's clear for everybody, whether it's homework, whether it's a unit test, whether it's, there you are, you see she's put reflection here because it was the parent-teacher meetings, and there's no, is there, yeah, here's the comments, there we go. That was it, reflection. It was all her comments that she said about each child. There we go, that's good. So that is how we do the Markbook. Thank you very much.